Welcome to KIllco. My name is Brian, and today we are doing a mini review on Evan Williams Black Label. So, bottoms up. Should be fine. Please drink responsibly. Oh, I don't understand why people do that. That is unpleasant, but with the amount of nips, or I don't even know what those are called everywhere, mini review bottles, I suppose, I find, in random parking lots, like it's a thing. People do that. I would say it's unpleasant. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, you just drank the whole thing. How are you going to review it? Well, this is how I'm going to review the whole thing. That was a joke. I don't have just a mini bottle. The mini bottle is all I had for the longest time, but thankfully, this was donated to my collection recently, which is always pleasant. Send me all your whiskey. That's what I'm saying. First thing I like to do with all my whiskeys is find out what the proof is. Always down here. Percentage is, double the proof. This is 43%, so technically it's 86 proof. Now, why is that important? Well, for one, 40% is the bare minimum for whiskey. And whenever I see whiskey that's a little higher than that, I know they didn't need to do that. And it's always nice to see a whiskey with a little higher proof than just the, all right, bottle it at 40% and sell it. So that's a plus already for this brand. I should also point out the one I prefer most of all is the Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, but yeah, that's all. Oh God, there's some in here. This is normally where I do a cork pop noise, but this is gonna be exciting. Yeah, not nearly as no. Just anyway. How do people do this? All right, ASMR time. That glug glug sounds pretty good, actually. Sorry, that was loud. First, in appreciating our whiskey, we have to look at the color. Now, the color in this one is kind of goldish, honestly. Normally, when I think bourbon, I think more of an amber hue. And this one is not, it's not doing it. Hold on. Yeah, white wall behind me, that works really well. This one seems like it was in the barrel for less time. I don't know if that's true, but just by looking at it, it has more of a Irish tone to me. And that's usually a golden yellow, and this is kind of on the border of, that orange amber color and the color that I've come to expect from certain Irish whiskeys. So, surprising? No, not really. But, it passes. Nosing your whiskey. I've heard there are many ways to do this. I also know there are ways to fog up the glass. I'm getting a distinct ethanol-esque. It smells like alcohol. I always get that. I don't know why. I don't know if just kind of the base of what whiskey drinking is. But the hurdle I've always had is trying to get past that, trying to get around it. This one isn't too bad, but what's funny is when I took the shot of the mini bottle, it was reminiscent of, I had flashbacks almost to my younger years, we'll say. The nose for this is very light to me. I feel like I'm getting these hints of fruit and charcoal type notes. But I'm having to reach for it, which is unsurprising. I think why I like higher proofs is because it's just a bigger, bolder kind of thing. And since my senses are kind of wonky all the time, it's just more. Where this is very faint, almost far away. It does smell sweet. It does have the typical bourbon notes that I hate to repeat, but, you know, the caramels, the brown sugars in there, kind of. And there's something else I can't quite place. There's always something that I'm not certain of. On to the taste. As always with my whiskey, unlike, you know, just taking a shot out of that nip like that, which is, again, not a good idea. The first sip I always just like to drink. So here we go. Watcha. It is a little thin. But it's not too bad. It's still sticking, which is something I always had the problem of with whiskeys like this. Is at lower proofs it can be watery, and you know, you're drinking whiskey. You want it to have some kind of volume and some kind of, you want it to stick with you, especially if you're trying to appreciate it and enjoy it, rather than just slugging them back like people do, which I have yet to understand. My second sip, I usually like to hold it and do. I don't do the Kentucky Chew. It's an option, but just keep it on your tongue for a little bit and see what happens. Tingly. Doesn't really burn. This is a good introduction to bourbons, at least. Ooh, it went dry. A little tannin notes, little wood notes. I'll just have to drag out my tongue a bit, which is good. That doesn't always happen. I find Evan Williams has a woodier profile to me than something like Wild Turkey might. I'm not getting as much sweetness out of it either. So if you like wood notes, well, there you go. The funny thing is with Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, I often add ice, so I'm probably watering it down to 43 or 40% every time I drink it. But again, I don't let the ice melt completely. So, all right, one more. See if I can get any actual tasting notes out of this. No, not really. As expected, it's just a bit of wood and a hint of sweetness. But it's really the wood notes that are prominent with Evan Williams, Black Label at least. The finish, where we think about what we've done. The finish on this is very dry. I don't hate it. But I don't even remember if I got this kind of feeling on Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. I assume I did, but again, I usually add ice to my higher proof just as a... It makes it almost a cocktail and something I can sip on for longer. That and I stay hydrated, you know, that's always good. But yeah, dry, woody, and not much else at the end. At this part of the video, we use an app, which is linked down below, to help me better understand the notes that I am trying to get from said whiskey. So, here we go. For the US location, this bottle, a regular bottle, not a handle, can be found for about $15. Oddly enough, the Bottle and Bond that I usually get is around the same price in my area at the stores I go to. Again, for whatever reason, prices of alcohol are regional. Community knows profile. Vanilla, caramel, musty, corn, toffee, jam, pencils, pralines, candy, and brown sugar. There are a bunch of those I don't see very often for a bourbon. But I agree with the musty note. That was something I couldn't quite figure out. It's faint. Pralines, I don't know. Or jam. I felt like I was getting a citrus note or some kind of fruit note. That definitely covers that. Candy, it is kind of sweet. Community flavor profile. Toffee, caramel, oak, cinnamon, and brown sugar. I guess I'm getting more of the drying notes out of this rather than the sweet notes. And I would definitely agree with the oak and I suppose brown sugar. Yeah, oak more than anything for me right now. The community finish. Spicy sweet, diesel fumes, oak, pralines, caramel, cinnamon, nutty, honey, vanilla, and toffee. Maybe a bit of a nuttiness. I'm not getting diesel fumes. If I were to say anything like that, it seems like it would be a higher proof. But at some point, I have to try pralines. I'm not getting too much spice. It does linger. I wouldn't really call it sweet, though. Anyway, it's a good bourbon as far as I can tell. The official overview. Origin, USA, Kentucky. Type, Kentucky Street Bourbon. ABV, 43%. Age, no age statement. This 86 proof product sits in between their 80 proof green label and 100 proof white label. Though it used to have an age statement of 7 years in the 90%, it is still between 4 and 7 years of age. So that is something I didn't know, is that it used to have an age statement. This is one that every time I've seen it, it doesn't have anything on it. It's a no age statement whiskey. But knowing that it had one and it's been changed is typical in the industry right now. They like to remove numbers or leave numbers on there. They're a little misleading sometimes. But overall, as I'm already a fan of Evan Williams, and I tend to have my 100 proof lowered just by the fact there's ice in it, this almost seems familiar to me. I wouldn't add ice to this personally, and I might use it more for mixers. It's nice to sip, but as I've said before in many of my videos, I prefer higher proofs. But thankfully, I have a very large bottle of this, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. Over the next few months, I guarantee I'm going to need it. If you're living in 2020 right now, you know what I mean. Anyway, till next time, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome, and sláinte.